welcome back to my channel. When we think of a simple penny, we often imagine something so common, so ordinary, that it hardly catches our attention. It's that little copper-colored coin we find beneath the couch cushions or leave in tip jars without a second thought. Yet sometimes, buried within the familiar, there lies an extraordinary story waiting to be discovered. The 2010 USA 1-cent penny is one such remarkable coin whose tale has captivated collectors, historians, and everyday people alike. Imagine walking past a gleaming penny on the sidewalk, unaware that what you just ignored could change your life forever. That's the kind of hidden treasure we're talking about. The year 2010 marked an era of subtle yet meaningful change in the world of U.S. coinage. Coming off the energy of the Lincoln Bicentennial series from 2009, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new design for the 1-cent coin. This wasn't just another small tweak, it was a bold tribute to Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy and a reflection of the American spirit of growth and innovation. The new reverse design featured a strong, simple image, the Union Shield. 13 vertical stripes joined by a single horizontal bar, symbolizing the unity of the original 13 states into one strong federal government. It was a powerful visual, subtle yet impactful, and it made the 2010 penny instantly distinct from its predecessors. Collectors quickly realized that the 2010 penny wasn't just notable for its design. Thanks to specific minting quirks, production variations, and a few incredibly rare errors, certain 2010 pennies became highly sought after. A few specimens, preserved in pristine condition, or bearing rare die cracks, double dies, or off-center strikes, skyrocketed in value. That's right, what seems like just another pocket change could be worth an absolute fortune today. In fact, some rare 2010 pennies have fetched astonishing prices at auctions and among private collectors. Depending on factors like condition, error type, and rarity, the value of a 2010 1-cent penny can range from an eye-opening $40,000 to $80,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A simple penny, the very coin often dismissed or forgotten, holds the potential to bring a life-changing windfall. It's stories like these that make collectors comb through jars, drawers, and old wallets with renewed hope and excitement. But what exactly makes these specific 2010 pennies so special? It's a perfect storm of minting brilliance and beautiful mistakes. Some pennies feature sharply doubled inscriptions, where the words United States of America or E pluribus unum appear twice, slightly offset, creating a mesmerizing shadow effect. Others show rare off-metal strikes, where a penny was mistakenly stamped on a foreign planchet or on material meant for another coin. And then there are those with dramatic off-center strikes, giving them a bizarre, almost melted appearance that turns an ordinary coin into a true anomaly of history. The Union Shield design itself carries layers of meaning that deepen the coin's significance. The vertical stripes represent the original colonies, and the strong horizontal bar across them signifies the strength and unity of the federal government. Above the shield floats the proud inscription, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. It's a message that resonates just as powerfully today as it did centuries ago, a reminder that strength comes from unity, perseverance, and a shared purpose. To hold a 2010 penny is to hold a symbol of American resilience and hope. Many of the rarest 2010 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with both P and D mint marks, although even no mint mark coins can command astounding prices if they bear rare errors. Condition matters immensely, too. A penny that looks flawless under magnification, boasting gleaming surfaces and razor-sharp details, might be labeled mint state by grading companies, vastly increasing its value. In fact, some of the pennies fetching over $40,000 have near-perfect grading scores, such as MS-68 or even higher. The world of high-end penny collecting is intensely competitive, with collectors battling fiercely over coins that display even the slightest improvement in quality or uniqueness. The 2010 1-cent penny's popularity also grew thanks to its accessibility. Unlike other rare coins that exist only in museums or the hands of elite collectors, the 2010 penny could literally be sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. It bridges the gap between everyday Americans and the thrilling world of numismatics, where the humblest coin might unlock dreams. There are incredible stories of ordinary people stumbling upon rare 2010 pennies purely by accident. One story tells of a young boy who started collecting coins as a summer hobby and discovered a double-die 2010 penny worth tens of thousands. Another recounts an elderly couple who, during spring cleaning, found a small bag of change they had set aside years ago, only to realize that one of the pennies inside was a rare error coin now valued at over $50,000. These aren't myths, they are real, thrilling moments where history, luck, and a little bit of curiosity collide. Today, the 2010 1-cent penny continues to be a source of fascination and passion for collectors. Its relatively recent origin makes it a contemporary treasure, still within reach for anyone willing to look carefully enough. It's a reminder that treasures don't always gleam from the depths of the earth or lie hidden in ancient tombs. Sometimes, they live quietly among us, in the familiar shine of a coin we think we know. So the next time you glance at a penny, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Examine the details. Inspect the inscriptions, the shield, the lines, the edges. Because hidden among the countless pennies in circulation, one might just hold a secret capable of changing your life forever. After all, isn't that the magic of collecting? That out of the ordinary, the extraordinary can always emerge, if only we dare to look closely enough. In the everyday hum of life, we often pass by countless small objects without a second glance, not realizing that some of these ordinary items carry extraordinary stories. One such story belongs to the humble 1972 USA 1-cent penny, a coin so familiar that it could easily go unnoticed, yet within its tiny frame lies a tale of remarkable history, rare beauty, and astonishing value. The journey of the 1972 penny is not just about copper and design, it's about discovery, passion, and the timeless pursuit of hidden treasure. The early 1970s were a fascinating time for American coinage. The nation was shifting, growing, and redefining itself in the post-1960s era, and every part of society, including the U.S. Mint, reflected this spirit of change. When the 1972 penny rolled off the minting presses, it was intended to be just another mass-produced coin for everyday use, a quiet participant in millions of small transactions across the country. Featuring the stoic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, it seemed like nothing out of the ordinary at first glance. But fate had something different in store for some of these coins. In 1972, a striking error occurred at the Philadelphia Mint, giving rise to one of the most famous varieties in all of U.S. coin collecting, the 1972 double-die obverse penny. In these rare coins, the inscriptions on the front, especially the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1972, appear visibly doubled. Not a mere trick of the light, but a bold, unmistakable doubling that immediately leaps out to even the casual observer. These weren't minor flaws, they were striking, dramatic anomalies that turned an ordinary coin into an unforgettable piece of history. Collectors went wild when the discovery of these double-die pennies became public. Suddenly, what had been pocket change became a treasure hunt. Dealers, collectors, and treasure hunters began sifting through rolls and jars of pennies with renewed fervor, hoping to find one of these rare and valuable errors. The excitement was electric, and it hasn't faded since. Today, a genuine 1972 double-die obverse penny in exceptional condition can command jaw-dropping prices at auctions and private sales. Depending on the clarity of the doubling and the coin's overall state, a rare 1972 penny could be worth an astonishing $75,000 to $140,000. Imagine holding something so small in your hand, something so easily overlooked, and realizing it could be worth more than luxury cars, fine jewelry, or even a down payment on a home. The thrill lies not just in the value but in the magic of discovery. Anyone, anywhere, at any time, could find such a coin. It's this possibility that fuels the dreams of collectors and casual coin enthusiasts alike. You don't need to be an expert or a millionaire to find one, you just need a keen eye, a bit of knowledge, and a willingness to look. The design of the 1972 penny itself carries a deep and enduring symbolism. Lincoln's profile, based on Victor David Brenner's famous design first introduced in 1909, speaks to ideals of leadership, integrity, and sacrifice. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse is a reminder of national unity and respect for democracy, values that resonate just as powerfully today as they did then. It's fitting that a coin carrying such profound imagery should also bear a story of unexpected rarity and fortune. Not all 1972 pennies are valuable, of course. Most are simply worth their face value. But it's the rare ones, the ones bearing the strong, dramatic doubling on the obverse, that turn everyday life into a treasure hunt. And for those lucky enough to find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, with brilliant surfaces, crisp strikes, and minimal blemishes, the rewards can be life-changing. Over the years, stories have surfaced of individuals who unknowingly possessed these valuable coins for decades, only to stumble upon their true worth by chance. One man, cleaning out his childhood coin collection, discovered a 1972 double-die penny tucked away in an old folder, a forgotten relic now worth tens of thousands. Another tale tells of a woman who, sorting through her late father's jar of pennies, unearthed a near-perfect specimen that eventually fetched 6 figures at auction. These real-life stories add layers of magic and wonder to the legacy of the 1972 penny. Grading plays a massive role in determining the exact value of these coins. Those graded mint state, MS, 65 or higher by reputable agencies like PCGS or NGC tend to command the highest prices. Sharpness of detail, brilliance of color, and the absence of nicks or wear can dramatically impact a coin's desirability. In a world where a tiny scratch can mean the difference between thousands of dollars, the condition is everything. But even beyond the financial aspect, the 1972 penny stands as a reminder of something deeper. It symbolizes the idea that greatness can exist in the most unassuming places, that surprises await those who look closely, and that history is often hidden in plain sight. It teaches patience, perseverance, and attention to detail, qualities that have as much value in life as they do in collecting. So the next time you see a penny, especially an older one, don't dismiss it as mere pocket change. Hold it up to the light. Examine the date. Look closely at the inscriptions. Because among the countless pennies that pass through our hands every year, there just might be a 1972 treasure waiting to be found, a tiny, copper miracle with the power to change your life forever. The story of the 1972 USA 1-cent penny isn't just about coins, money, or history. It's about the magic of discovery and the enduring wonder of the everyday world. Sometimes, the smallest things really do hold the greatest treasures. In the grand flow of history, there are certain years that slip quietly by, almost unnoticed, and yet, tucked within their simple, unassuming moments, treasures are born. One such hidden gem is the 1996 USA 1-cent penny, a coin that many would dismiss without a second thought, yet one that holds a story of fascination, rarity, and incredible value. It's a story that reminds us that sometimes, true fortune lies hidden in the most ordinary corners of life. The 1990s were a decade of rapid change. Technology was racing forward, the internet was beginning to weave itself into everyday life, and optimism filled the air as the world moved closer to a new millennium. In 1996, the United States Mint continued its time-honored tradition of producing the Lincoln 1-cent coin, a design so familiar that it had become almost invisible to most people. Abraham Lincoln's solemn profile graced the obverse, a lasting tribute to one of America's greatest leaders. On the reverse, the iconic Lincoln Memorial stood proudly, symbolizing unity, strength, and the enduring spirit of a nation. Yet amid millions of these familiar coins, something extraordinary happened. A handful of 1996 pennies were struck with remarkable precision, flawless surfaces, and rare minting characteristics that would later send shockwaves through the numismatic world. In an era dominated by fast production and mass circulation, finding a perfect coin was no easy feat, which is precisely why the 1996 penny holds such an allure for collectors today. What makes certain 1996 pennies so valuable isn't just their pristine condition. It's the story of survival. Most pennies are heavily circulated, bouncing from hand to hand, scraping through cash registers, pockets, and sidewalks. But a rare few somehow escaped this fate, tucked away in collections, forgotten in mint sets, or lost in hidden drawers. These coins, untouched by time, gleam with an original luster that speaks to their authenticity and purity. And then there are the errors, the beautiful, unintentional quirks that drive collectors wild. Some 1996 pennies exhibit subtle but thrilling anomalies, slight off-center strikes, rare die varieties, or curious planchet flaws. These rare mint errors elevate a coin from common currency to prized collectible status. It's the combination of rarity, condition, and minting magic that transforms an ordinary 1996 penny into a superstar of the coin collecting world. Today, the most exceptional examples of the 1996 USA 1-cent penny, especially those found in near-perfect mint state condition or bearing rare error traits, can command astonishing sums. It's no exaggeration to say that a single 1996 penny, under the right circumstances, can be worth anywhere from $50,000 to $110,000. That's right. A tiny piece of copper, smaller than a bottle cap, could be more valuable than a luxury car, a dream vacation, or even a significant investment portfolio. This reality has fueled a modern-day treasure hunt. Across America and beyond, collectors, both seasoned and novice, pour through old penny jars, inspect rolls of coins from the bank, and revisit long-forgotten collections in hopes of finding that gleaming, perfect 1996 gem. It's a reminder that the thrill of discovery is still very much alive, hiding within the most ordinary details of everyday life, but the value of the 1996 penny is about more than just money. It's about connection, a tangible link to a moment in history. Holding a 1996 penny is like holding a tiny time capsule from a different era, a whisper from the past preserved in metal and memory. It carries the echoes of the world it was born into, a world where the internet was still new, where cell phones were just beginning to spread, where hope and innovation painted the future with endless possibilities. The artistry of the coin also deserves appreciation. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln, originally created for the 1909 centennial of Lincoln's birth, remains one of the most enduring and beloved designs in U.S. coinage. The fine lines, the thoughtful expression, the careful rendering of Lincoln's features, all these details come together to create a portrait that transcends time. On the reverse, the stately Lincoln Memorial design by Frank Gasparo speaks of honor, memory, and national pride. For collectors, finding a perfect or rare 1996 penny is a moment of triumph. But it's also a reminder that beauty and value often hide in plain sight. It encourages a sharper eye, a deeper curiosity, and a greater appreciation for the small, often overlooked things that enrich our lives. There are stories, real, true stories, of people discovering high-value 1996 pennies in the most unexpected places. A man searching through his father's old coin collection stumbled upon a gleaming, flawless 1996 penny tucked in an envelope, a simple keepsake that turned out to be worth tens of thousands. Another collector found a rare 1996 double-die variety while sorting through a roll of uncirculated pennies purchased decades earlier. These stories inspire dreams and ignite passion in collectors around the world. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC play a crucial role in confirming a 1996 penny's true worth. A certified grade of mint state 67 or higher can significantly boost a coin's value, especially if it possesses rare mint errors or exceptional eye appeal. Luster, strike sharpness, surface preservation, and overall aesthetic beauty all factor into the grading process, and into the ultimate value of the coin. In the end, the story of the 1996 USA 1-cent penny isn't just a story about coins. It's about wonder. It's about history. It's about the hidden potential in the smallest and simplest things. It's a story that reminds us that every object has a story, every moment has value, and every discovery, no matter how small, can change the course of our lives in ways we never expected. So the next time you have a handful of pennies, pause for just a moment. Look closely. Inspect the dates. Examine the details. Because tucked among those ordinary coins, there might just be a treasure, a 1996 penny shining with history, mystery, and the quiet promise of extraordinary value. The treasures we seek aren't always far away. Sometimes, they're right there in our hands. The mid-1980s were a transformative time in America. The economy was recovering, technology was creeping into households, and optimism painted the air with excitement. 1985 was a year of energy, of innovation, of building dreams for the future. Amidst all this change, the United States Mint continued its tradition of crafting the humble 1-cent piece, featuring the ever-respected profile of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse, a stoic reminder of the nation's resilience, freedom, and enduring spirit. The 1985 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, a continuation of the design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. The reverse of the coin showcased the stately Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., meticulously detailed down to the tiny figure of Lincoln visible between the columns if you looked closely enough. Millions of these coins were minted, flowing into everyday circulation, paying for morning coffees, bus fares, and handwritten letters mailed across the country. But what most people don't realize is that not all 1985 pennies are created equal. Hidden among the countless coins are those rare, remarkable specimens, pennies struck with unusual precision, surviving the rough world of commerce with minimal wear, or born with peculiar minting errors that would later make collectors' hearts race. Finding a perfect 1985 penny is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most were battered and bruised through decades of use. But the rare few that remained untouched, tucked into forgotten piggy banks, sealed within uncirculated rolls, or carefully preserved by collectors, are today regarded as shining examples of numismatic art, and it's not just their pristine condition that sets them apart. Some 1985 pennies feature remarkable errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and intriguing planchet anomalies. These errors were usually caught and discarded, but the few that slipped through the cracks are now highly sought after, commanding premium prices in the marketplace. If you happen to stumble across a 1985 penny in exceptional mint state condition or with notable mint errors, you're in for a stunning revelation. These rare coins have been valued between $60,000 to $110,000, depending on their specific characteristics, error types, and grading certification. Imagine that, a tiny penny, once worth a mere cent, now rivaling the value of a luxury sports car, a down payment on a beautiful home, or an impressive investment portfolio. This staggering valuation has fueled a wave of excitement among collectors and treasure hunters alike. People across the country have begun digging through old jars, forgotten dresser drawers, and inherited coin collections, hoping to uncover one of these glittering gems. It's a reminder that extraordinary fortune often hides in the most unassuming places, but what is it that makes the 1985 penny so enchanting? Part of it lies in the design itself. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln, timeless, dignified, and deeply symbolic, captures the spirit of American perseverance. Meanwhile, Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse offers a quiet tribute to unity and national pride. Together, these designs encapsulate the ideals that have shaped the American experience for generations. Equally important is the context of the 1985 penny's creation. By the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint had shifted from primarily copper pennies to copper-plated zinc compositions, starting in 1982. This transition brought with it a slew of subtle challenges: lighter coins, more vulnerable to damage, and more prone to striking issues. Therefore, finding a 1985 penny with impeccable surfaces, perfect centering, and unblemished luster is a true rarity, an outlier in a sea of everyday coins. Collectors often seek out coins graded MS-66 or higher by professional organizations like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These high grades significantly increase the coin's value and desirability. And if a coin boasts a mint error on top of its high grade? That's the jackpot, a combination that sends auction rooms into frenzied bidding wars. There are legendary stories of individuals who unknowingly held onto a valuable 1985 penny for decades, only to realize its worth when casually flipping through their old childhood coin collections. One such case involved a family who had a small bag of pennies saved from the 1980s. Buried within, they discovered a near-pristine 1985 penny, later authenticated and sold for a life-changing sum. It's stories like these that keep the dream alive for so many hopeful searchers, and beyond the money, the 1985 penny symbolizes something even more profound. It represents history frozen in time, a piece of 1985 captured in metal, bearing witness to all that has changed and all that endures. Holding such a coin is like holding a fragment of the American story itself, the dreams, the struggles, the quiet dignity of everyday life. Every scratch, every gleam of luster, every tiny imperfection tells a story. It reminds us that even amidst mass production and rapid change, beauty and rarity still exist. It teaches us to look closer, to appreciate the small wonders that pass through our hands each day. The hunt for the perfect 1985 penny continues to inspire collectors around the world. It is a testament to the magic of numismatics, the passion, the patience, and the perpetual hope that one small, forgotten coin might unlock a fortune and a legacy. And so, the next time you glance at the handful of pennies rattling in your pocket or resting at the bottom of your purse, take a moment. Look for the year 1985. Inspect the surfaces. Search for those tiny, telling details. Because hidden among the ordinary, you just might find a treasure, a 1985 USA 1-cent penny that carries not just value, but a story, a memory, and a piece of American soul. After all, some treasures are meant to be discovered by those who believe enough to look. The USA 2003 1-cent penny is the perfect example of such a silent gem, resting unnoticed in drawers, jars, and collections across the country, waiting for the right set of eyes to recognize its hidden magic. The year 2003 might not seem distant in the grand timeline of history, but in numismatics, even 2 decades can create legends. It was a time when America stood between eras. Technology was reshaping everyday life, culture was evolving, and the world was on the brink of becoming even more interconnected. Yet amidst these monumental changes, the familiar Lincoln penny remained a steady, comforting symbol in American pockets, linking the past to the present. Produced in massive numbers, the 2003 1-cent penny proudly bore the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on its obverse, a design that had remained largely unchanged since 1909, crafted originally by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stood solemn and proud, a testament to unity, freedom, and resilience, just as it had for generations. At first glance, the 2003 penny seems ordinary, blending in with billions of its counterparts. But those who understand the deeper nuances of coin collecting know better. Among the endless sea of copper-plated zinc coins, some 2003 pennies stand apart, gleaming with flawless surfaces, bearing elusive mint errors, or surviving in astonishingly high grades untouched by time or human hands. Finding such a piece isn't just about luck, it's about patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for perfection. Most circulated 2003 pennies have succumbed to the inevitable nicks, scratches, and dulling that come with everyday use. But in the right conditions, a hidden stash of uncirculated rolls, an overlooked collection, or a random pocket find, a perfect specimen can emerge, offering both historic charm and financial reward, and what a reward it can be. For collectors who manage to unearth a 2003 penny in pristine mint state condition, or one graced with a notable mint error like a double die, off-center strike, or planchet flaw, the value is truly breathtaking. Authentic, high-grade examples have fetched between $40,000 to $95,000, depending on the rarity of the error, the coin's luster, strike sharpness, and professional grading. Imagine holding in your hand a penny, a mere cent, that could unlock such life-changing value. It's a reminder that treasure hunting isn't confined to legends or dusty attics. Sometimes, it's right there in the palm of your hand, disguised as something ordinary. But the 2003 penny's value isn't only tied to its financial worth. It's a symbol of continuity, bridging centuries of American spirit. Think about it, in a world racing forward with smartphones, social media, and electric cars, the simple design of Lincoln's image remains unchanged, whispering a message of perseverance and tradition to those who care to listen. One reason why the 2003 penny holds special significance is because it was part of the final years before the monumental changes in the Lincoln cent series. Just a few years later, in 2009, the U.S. Mint would introduce the Lincoln Bicentennial Series with 4 different reverse designs to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of the penny itself. Thus, the 2003 penny marks the end of a classic era, a final bow before the stage changed forever. Collectors often seek coins certified by trusted authorities like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, and a 2003 penny with an MS-67, MS-68, or even MS-69 grade can ignite serious competition at auctions. Add in a fascinating mint error, like a major die crack, dramatic misalignment, or full reverse doubling, and you're looking at a piece that few can resist. There have been exciting stories of everyday people discovering rare 2003 pennies by sheer accident. One collector, combing through a family coin jar out of nostalgia, stumbled upon a nearly flawless penny with a striking off-center error. After professional grading, that simple penny fetched a 5-figure sum, a heart-stopping moment that few ever forget, and these moments fuel the hope in all of us. The belief that somewhere, tucked away unnoticed, there's a penny that could change everything. A small token of history, transformed into a vessel of opportunity. But even beyond the financial thrill, the true magic of the 2003 penny lies in its quiet resilience. It's a piece of art, crafted from metal, bearing the face of a man who changed the course of history. It's a tangible connection to a nation's journey, a miniature monument passed from hand to hand, surviving the churn of time. Every gleam of red copper, every sharply struck detail, every hidden error is a whisper from the past, a story of craftsmanship, chance, and enduring spirit. And whether you find one worth $40,000 or simply admire the beauty of an unassuming coin, the journey itself is part of the treasure.so. The next time you spot a penny on the ground or thumb through a handful of change, don't pass it by. Look closer. Check the year. Search for 2003. Examine the surfaces, tilt it under the light, and listen for that faint, thrilling whisper that only the rarest coins carry, because maybe, just maybe, that ordinary penny could be your extraordinary discovery, a hidden gem that turns a simple day into an unforgettable adventure. After all, history isn't just written in textbooks or monuments. Sometimes, it's hiding in your pocket, waiting patiently to be found.